Hey everyone, welcome to episode 10 of the Last Note podcast, coming to you late after prelims, night one DCI finals week. It's been a great season, I think, but I um I want to talk about some of these recaps, and we're also going to go over some of our drum predictions for the last 2 days. So I I mean, we can start at the top. I think most people can agree with the first couple placements. I think.
hmm
Preston, how do you feel about that? Like I mean, I have nothing really to say about the top four. Top four, really top six. Like
And
I think it's about right.
speaking in terms of drums,
Or in terms of just let's start overall first.
and
Over,
overall,
yeah.
yeah, in terms of who the top six are, I think it's
Is actually bad. Maybe the Instagram plus because I'm running some hotspot. Maybe it's too much. Try it again. Bruh. I guess I can't run dual screened, I guess. All right. Are we back? We're back, I guess. Okay. Well, we're not gonna run the dual screen. That's okay. Um, I don't know if it picked up where we were, but I I also need to share my screen. Sorry. But speaking of like the top 5 to 6, I think most everything is kind of where I predicted it being. Um, I mean, obviously, I personally would have Crown higher than they are right now, but I can see where people are coming from with some of the overall scores.
Mhm.
Like I would agree with Crown, especially like music analysis and just that caption as a whole. I think they're bringing a really good package in terms of Prague and obviously the Orff Carmina pieces, but I don't have any problem with the way the top groups. I mean, Phantom could also be higher. I think they're getting slept on in a couple captions, especially Brass. I think they should be higher, but overall, nothing too surprising in this part, I would think. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, for the most part, it's everything I kind of thought I would be. I am from the original predictions that we did. I'm surprised that pleasantly surprised that Vanguard has kept themselves in the top three, and so I'm officially changing that to that would be my now prediction is Vanguard gets that third place spot.
Yeah,
Um, and I think I'm actually okay with where Crown is right now. Well, I say that I would still personally want them over Blue Devils, but I can also see how in general their show can be can leave just a little bit to be desired from judges.
yeah.
I
I th-
was a huge fan of the new closer they added
oh yeah,
on.
that's what I was about to say. That having that moment really accentuated the show, and it made it honestly from talking to some other friends, it made it really easy to understand.
Mhm.
Like
It
it
feels more
brought the whole
complete.
thing.
I enjoy it more.
Yeah, 100%. The next kind of tier, your 7 through 12. I think this is about right. I was a little low on Blue Stars. I know you had. I think you almost nailed them on the head. What are
I
they?
had him.
Eighth,
I
eighth.
had him at seven. I had him at the top of the bottom six.
Okay, but I mean, still, that's
It was in our those same groupings of three. I just had it flipped.
yeah. But I think I would personally have Colts. I mean, I know the Troopers closer is incredible, but personally, like I would have Colts above Troopers. just from a technically demanding standpoint as a core. I think they're doing a little bit more in terms of like visual responsibilities. I don't know if it's well, let's see, where did they end up in visual? Yeah, so they were ahead of Troopers for the most part in a lot of the visual. Like there's a gap here, but in terms of proficiency and analysis, they were right behind them, and I mean they still were behind them a little bit, but I still think they're doing a lot of old school drill, which I think is cool. I think that gets lost in the activity nowadays. That's one thing I appreciate about actually I appreciate about Crown a lot is they have moments that is truly just run and gun, like
Yeah.
like like they're known for, and I feel like that gets lost nowadays. So it's good to see some old school flares and Cavaliers too. Forgot to mention them. They're doing some really cool stuff visually as well. Not my favorite show, but in terms of visual, I think they're doing a great job.
Yeah. Troopers, I will say, I was really banking on people getting fatigued of the whole like 5 year storyline show or whatnot, but I'll say I was wrong again. Like
Yeah,
people are enjoying it and it's good. Like everything else aside, it is a good show. They are playing it. They are playing high level stuff at a very high level product they're being put out there.
they,
So
they really are, man.
their credit being given.
The Mahler 2 choice as the source material for the closer was incredible.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
like
you
you're
can't
not
like I mean that's
if you put Mahler in drum corps, you're not gonna do bad.
no, and I feel like they couldn't have picked a better piece that represents what they're going for than that. I feel like it's just it everything encapsulates into one at the end, and it makes perfect sense for what they're going for, and really closing off this era of their like the Western themes and like someone coming through and is finally the Cowboys dying, and but I think it's great. It really is. I'll tell you one show that kind of grew on me a little bit just from watching it more was Blue Knights.
Hmm.
Kind of a I really I'm not a fan of the uniforms, but I think they're going for it a little bit. I feel like they're going for it in terms of visually, and I feel like their drum line is taking some very calculated risks in terms of choreo, in terms of playing while doing choreo. And their
Hmm.
staging is so like it features them heavily to where it's like all the focus is going on there and there's a lot of space and a lot of color text. It's similar to them. I mean, it's the West Coast style. It's the Monarch team is out there now. But it's really reminiscent kind of the Crown Mike Jackson days. Maybe the book's not as demanding, but visually they're doing some things while playing that kind of rivaled that echelon of lines from the past years. And I really do. I appreciate it a lot.
I am curious to see how the 12-13 is going to turn around with Splana because I do know a few like just know of a few people who I know were working with Spirit who weren't planning on going back like they were done for the season and then it was this close to like we're at Indie Week and they had to like, hey, we're gonna try and like get that like push over that hump. Can we get the design team in? And so they called people in to like they're gunning for getting that spot. They're only what a point away, I think.
that's
Or
that
yeah,
that could
they're
be
legitimately 0.975 away.
yeah, that's doable. If they
Like and look at their captions, especially like just the setting we have where it is right now. It's like there's a couple lower drops that they had that's basically keeping them out. Like those 14s and 15s in that
visual,
section. That's where they're getting held back.
yeah. I mean, they got 10th in brass. I mean, their drum line's 13th. I think they're playing better than that, personally, from a battery perspective. I would have them right behind Colts. I would actually have them above Troopers in terms of the battery density of notes. I think Troopers is playing with a good blend, but I think Spirit's really gunning for it. And I really do. I I feel like their spotlight got taken away with the cowbell this year. because of
Hmm.
Boston.
Yep.
Everyone's like, oh, it's just little Boston. But no, they're doing some really cool things. And the way they're using that source material with the different textures, I think it's done really well.
I think this is the best, like this is the best we're seeing Spirit since
Oh,
back in 2019 when they were this close to getting in
yeah.
before everything shut down. They've art like in the 3 year comeback they've had to have, they've already gotten back up to that spot, which I think is awesome.
The fact that they're there really just shows the culture that that organization has. And it really shows like that there's people that still want to go for it, even after some of the things that happened. I feel like they that with this changes they had in the organization, they really rewrited that entire ship. And I it's honestly one of the most impressive. I mean, SCV is obviously going to have the talent if you take a year off. Like SCV is going to be okay, but like Splana could have been in a rocky situation. You know, you never know with a group that's not as like top five material.
Hmm.
And so I feel like that their comeback needs to be studied more too. Just it needs to be appreciated more, I think, than what it's getting credit for. It's because it's like everyone's like, oh, they're right there, but it's like you should have seen where. I mean, they didn't March in 22. The fact that they're right there is impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, I digress. All right, dude, the one we were so wrong on was Crossman.
Yeah, we really,
Both of
especially
us, both of us were not even close.
I really was hoping that there would just be some development on the show, that there just would be more to it. And then I just don't, granted, I haven't seen them. I didn't get a chance to watch their Allentown. So I haven't seen them at all uh since San Antonio. But from what I can tell, there just hasn't been the development of the show. Like I think it hit its peak of what it could tell. And leaving just so much more up into interpretation just I don't think is working.
That's
And
what that's kind of where I was whenever I saw them at San Antonio. But I thought there was going to be more, just like you said, more development, more shaping in terms of the direction of the show, like design wise. But I mean, they're still their battery got 15th. I still think they're playing incredible. I think one of the slam on shows this year, I like Music City's show. Their
yeah,
their op- their opener is great.
this one's for Alex Price out there. I saw the comment. I know
Hey,
you
we
he he disagreed, but
yeah,
I slept on the boys and I
we slept on Music City, man, and I'll take full responsibility for that.
they are back on the up. I hadn't liked them the past couple years, but
Yeah, this
I
year,
guess they're finding something.
yeah, they're doing something out there. They're doing something up there. I think um visually their opener was kind of it was really eye-catching, actually. And I think that this was kind of the thing they needed in terms of a show to really bump them out of the is they as crazy as this sounds, they almost replaced Crossman.
I would agree with that.
In this like it was kind of like the same come up with Pacific Crest. Like Music City and Pacific Crest, like Pat Crest was pretty close last year to finals. But
Mhm.
I feel like those two groups honestly separated themselves a little bit in terms of like the lower on the bottom 7 to 10, you know? And I think they're doing great things. Their drum line's playing pretty good, honestly. Brass is sounding good. I watched their Allentown run and it was solid. But I think we definitely do owe Music City an apology in terms of the slept on category.
And I mean, that's what's going to happen when you make predictions
Yeah,
after San Antonio. That stuff's going to happen. That's the beauty of the activities. Things are going to change.
yeah,
If it was exactly if how it happens in San Antonio lays out how it's going to be for the rest of the 3 weeks, where's the fun in that?
yeah, exactly. I think they'd probably get one of the most improved drum corps awards this season. Like from start to finish. I think they did a great job.
Speaking of
Yeah,
most improved, shout out Zephyrus for most improved open class core.
shout out to Zephyrus. We Yeah, I mean, I slept on them hard, and that was wrong by me. But I love to see growth. Okay, this next tier is where I kind of
Violently rage.
no, okay, I'm not gonna say violently rage. I I really feel for the members in this, in two groups in particular. It's Genesis and Seattle Cascades. I've watched both of these groups. I mean a dozen times this season, both of them, and I've and I'm not trying to diss on any groups. That's not what we're here to do. But I feel like that because of where they go in the order of groups and order of shows, and even though some groups before them scored higher, I feel like these two groups are not getting credited.
No, not in the
I,
slightest.
and I really can't like if you were to put you put one show next to the other, I think there would be some stark realizations happen. If you put those two shows next to Madison Scouts and Pacific Crest, I feel like you'd find a lot of similarities. Granted, you may not think they deserve the same score, but content wise, I feel like you'll see some similarities. Like, and this whole slotting thing, man, I think I'm not gonna say it's real, but I feel like there is some bias in terms of where the groups have placed in the past. I don't know how you feel on this, but I definitely think that it's kind of alarming. You know, like when you have a 2 point drop in in 2 days, really. Like that, we were talking about Genesis breaking the all time record for breaking 80 2 days ago.
Yeah, they were point two away. They were
And,
point two.
and you
They
drop and you drop all the way to a 78, almost a high 77. Like I can't get behind that. Like I don't see how that kind of drop happens. And I'm just being honest.
and
Like
even if you want to compare it, like like not even just to other cores, compare it to its own core. Look at last year. I would say last year our prelims run was great. It's not as good as what this group is doing now. And
no,
it's better than this. 2023, we know that that was not Genesis's shining year. I love that season for my personal connection to it, and it was a great summer. But as a core, like that show was lucky it got to be what it turned out to be. And I'm so glad a lot of people enjoyed it. I enjoy it. But I know that was not a like the end product was not the highest caliber that Genesis could have put forward. It scored higher than this. And
yeah.
I'm just thinking, what basis do these numbers go off of? Granted, I didn't watch the entire show. I was working. So could there have been a tear that we don't know about? Sure. We can give the benefit of the doubt there, but I just can't. I don't know if I can get behind some of the like area the um caption scores compared to previous years.
Yeah, I mean we have Genesis out of semifinals in a caption.
That to me is ridiculous.
In visual, like I I really don't know.
Like barring someone literally did, if we're talking visual, if I can do what I did my final run ever and us still make like in the teens visually, I can't imagine what this did. Like what this
I watched the run. I watched the run. Like I was like, yeah, this can be potentially breaking 80. I thought the battery had a good run. I think
Was it front to back aligned? Like, was that
I thought, I mean, 95%
better than the closer in 23 when we
better.
had
It was better than their Allentown run. I thought. I thought it was better than the run they had at Pittsburgh, at least from a full core perspective. Now maybe there's some things individually that happened. And I don't want this to sound like we're just like, oh, the judges are robbing us. We're talking about the activity as a whole. Like I feel like I feel like there's not enough effort put into these groups, into Genesis and Seattle Cascades. And
and honestly the same can be
I'll
said
stand 10 toes down about it.
the same can be said for pretty much a lot of the other cores in
Yeah.
their in the bottom. Like they rotate between three spots, and at
Yeah.
least they get to rotate.
Yeah.
We haven't moved in forever, and I get it. I secede that we Genesis takes a lot of young members and is usually a lot of people's first place they go, but is not the place they end up. Like we were in an age out class of seven. Like we went to that age out ceremony and they were like at least 20, 30 people per core. And there were seven of us.
Yeah.
Like I get it. It's young. But those kids are performing at a high level, a very high level. And you see like the next year, half of those kids go make like top six cores.
Yeah.
We're having
I mean,
capabilities.
well, when we get to the drum scores, I'll have more things to say. But I just want to put like a public service announcement out there. Go show some love for the bottom seven of drum corps. Go just take an afternoon and go watch some shows. Like and truly appreciate the entirety of the activity. Like I get it. The top six, man, I could watch Boston and SCV drums all day. I could. Do I? No. Do I watch a lot of the middle range, like of BK Colts? Yeah. But you know who I watch the most? It's the bottom seven because those are the groups that are progressing at the fastest rate, in my opinion, the activity. Like the growth from day one to Indy for those groups. Like I just want you to go watch. If you go watch Genesis, the tracking video that I put out from in June versus where they are at now, like that is incredible. Like what they are doing is absolutely incredible, and what all of these groups are doing. You go watch videos of Crossman from early in the season, and you watch videos from them at Allentown. Holy crap, man!
Mhm.
Like I feel like the progress. I mean, even if it's not rewarded in the numbers, it can be rewarded by the fans of the activity. It can be rewarded by us, and I feel like I have to say that
It
because
can and it should.
it can and it should. So okay, I do think the meeting's about to run out. So
All right, I'll start the next one and we can go on to drums.
fucking soapbox, man. Jesus Christ. Unfiltered. Oh
That's
well.
that's what we're here for.
All right, everyone. Welcome back. Short break. Had to switch the meeting. Y'all know the deal. Like normal. Eventually we'll pay for Zoom premium, but today is not that day because we got to get through these drum predictions. Okay. All right. Preston, give me let's go 25 to 22. Give me your 25 or 26 to 22. Sorry. I forgot to add the extra one in here. All right, who do you got?
Okay. Let me go with
Bum 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 ba bum bum.
well, it's hard because there a lot of these are within a lot of points. Okay. 25 through 22. Give me RCR at 25.
Well, 26.
or 26.
Okay, 25.
Uh, was the show band, the Stampede show band, is that
Yep.
they're the ones that let me get them at 25. They're gonna beat RCR.
Dude, talk about Canada representing. This is kind of fire that we have an international group in semis.
True. We finally have Drum Corps International.
Hey, dude, there's some people from China there. See?
Uh, is this purely realist predictions, or is this what we a little bit of what we want to happen or what we think should happen?
We can make it what we think should happen.
Okay, what I think should happen. That sounds good. Let me get battalion at number 23 or 24, sorry. And then give me give me gold at 23.
I think you still got Colombians too. Don't forget about them.
Oh, I got Colombians. I forgot about Colombians. Put Colombians move battalion to 23, put Colombians to 24.
Okay. Oh, I did not spell that right. Oh gosh. I'm sorry, y'all. It's been a long day of teaching band.
Yeah. We're we're tired of telling kids like diddles clean.
Yeah, man. I'm doing
Or
I'm
or
doing
more likely,
I'm dealing with
play
two broken bottom
play
heads right
draft.
now. I got two broken bottom heads that I'm not changing.
Dude, I just had to do surgery on a Spock because it was built in they screwed the Spock in too low. So the one that like holds it up, that where you screw it into place on the set for Yamahas
Yeah.
was way too high and the rim was tilted so it was squeezing the shell and there's a hairline fracture in the drum.
Oh
I
no.
didn't discovered it when I was changing the Spock head.
No.
So
All right, who
fix
you got in 22?
okay, 22. 22 would be gold.
Okay. Um, yeah, man, Battalion scored high in prelims, man. I mean,
They can play that's like Golden Battalion. They are good drum lines.
they're good. They are good.
All of these are good drum lines. Let me point that out. All
Yes.
of these are really good drum lines.
But Battalion's hitting it. I'm not gonna lie. They're hitting the drum. Gold's hitting the drum.
Golden Battalion have some they got some very mature players
I agree.
lines.
I do agree with that. Okay. My bottom is actually the exact same on my list. So I'm just gonna boom, copy and paste. All
Easy.
right, I'll go next. So right here, who did I have? I had I had Spartans here. Then in 20th, I had um, Seattle Cascades. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. Sorry. I got that wrong. I had gold. No, I had gold. Did it? No, Seattle Cascades. That's who I had right here. And then 19th, I had the Academy. And 18th, I had Genesis. Who do you got in those next four?
That is the same order that I had.
You had the exact same?
Yep.
Boom.
I I almost put Spartans ahead of Seattle, but honestly, Seattle's like throwing down this year.
I
And not
think
that just like Seattle is they're coming back into not that they were ever necessarily irrelevant because they are still a world-class drum corps, but they really stepped it up this year.
they did. I really appreciate what they're doing over there. And I know Malia, front ensemble captain from Genesis, is over there marching her age out, and I think it's going great from what I've heard over there. And the uniforms are really cool. Okay, I'm gonna get on my soapbox about the Genesis percussion section. I feel like this is one of the most slept on drum lines in the country. And I've said it 10 toes down. I've watched them dozens of times, like I said earlier. I don't understand where they're not getting the credit from. I really don't. I I feel like their book takes a lot of risk and a lot of demand, and environmentally is really tough. So sometimes I think that some of the things get overlooked, and part of that can be because the group is young. There's I feel like people just automatically assume because it's a younger core that they're not playing hard stuff when there's a lot of things that they're doing that are actually incredible. So I'm just laying that out there. That's my opinion. Take it or leave it, but I think that they should be getting some more, at least credit in terms of like content wise. And I know that they say, oh, you the content scores by the achievement. I get it, but still, I still think there's some room to be desired. What do you think?
Yeah, that the exact same thing. Like the con, they're. I think just the reality of objective judging in something like so subjective as music is it can't happen, and because of that, no matter what, the content scores are always going to not ever be near as like there's not going to be a giant difference from
Yeah,
the achievement scores. So even if you're playing some really hard stuff and it's like not quite there, you're not going to get the credit for all of it. And people, and I've heard this comment from clinic judges being clinicians. I mean, like, well, the thing is, if your content is if you have a high content but you're not achieving it well, then a judge, as a just a one-time listener, cannot take in the content because it's not being achieved where it needs to be.
yeah.
So it can't be. And
It's
but I'm
kind of
sitting there thinking it's pretty clear. Like they're not playing dirty. They're
no.
just they're being put in a place. They're being put in a place.
Yeah,
Like they were scoring a 16, they had a 16.5 a week ago in Perk. And they have a 15.4 something now.
yeah. I don't. Their Allentown score was higher than that, and I've heard this before, and I kind of agree with it. Where the you shouldn't really look at the number, but you should look at the margins between the
Mhm.
groups, kind of. But I feel like also as I don't know. I don't want to speak on the role of a judge because I don't want to speak on something I don't know much about,
And
but I don't know.
and I get you can people make and a valid argument it is, but the argument of like it scores only matter if they're at the same contest. Yes, true. Also, even when Genesis was playing multiple contests in a row at the same contest with some of these cores, they're scoring higher than some of these cores. Genesis was like actively 15th, 16th in drums for multiple days.
I like a quarter of the
And,
season.
and like it just makes it really hard to believe that they score that high and then they have that like almost every single regional show they immediately went back down to bottom.
Yeah.
And we never even had that big of a jump, and we never even got that high. Like we didn't. I
Oh,
think we beat Academy once for like an hour before scores updated.
yeah. But they beat them at a show
Yeah, flat out.
in Music City at one point. And you can make the argument to me that Academy and Music City should be above Genesis. I may not agree with you, but night to night, that's where they should be. Like they should be it should be just a rotating between those three, them and Cascades, all in that same like for captions. Like I don't think there should be that big of a spread between those two. And I think it's like, let me look. Okay, so Genesis was a 15.45. Academy was a 16.2, and Music City was a 16.3. So like I don't think there should be that big of a difference between those groups.
I
Per
think just straight up there should be more just to put a big old cap on this whole thing. There should just be more movement in the bottoms.
yeah.
The- there's we're stuck in those same three groups for the entire time, and it's like they kind of just draw out of a hat where they're gonna put which group.
Yeah.
But
Oh well. Well, I love talking about it because I mean both of us were a part of this revolving door of the bottom of a world class for 2 years. So I feel like we're pretty qualified to talk about it, not standing on a soapbox. But we've been through a lot of shows and been through a lot of adversity in the activity in terms of this. And I feel like at the bottom of world class, it's so much more about the culture. Like I mean, that's why we love it. I mean,
Mhm.
score it is what it is, but those friendships and the culture is really what we the moments we relive from that every day. So that's why I wear it around my neck every day. I love it to death. All right, Preston, who you got in the next category?
All right, let me pull her back right up.
So let's go
Okay.
17 to 13.
17 to 13. All right, I'm gonna go. hmm, Yeah, I think I'm gonna kind of stick with what the judges said. I agree with it. 17th, I have Music City, and then 16th, I have Pat Crest. 15th, I have Crossman,
Pat Crest is playing some notes this year. We'll
and
say.
then Scouts at 14, and then Spirit at 13.
Okay. Mine's slightly different.
And I
That's,
think, and part of it is also I want to move some of those around, but just seeing some of the point differentials,
yeah.
that's all part of like what I again because I didn't get to watch prelims today because I had 1 to 9 rehearsal.
Yeah. That's brutal. Yeah, I was on 2 to 8, so I'm right there with you. Okay, so um I actually have Crossman in 17th.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know. I had Music City in 16th. I had um I had Scouts, or no, I had Pat Crest, Pacific Crest in 15th. Scouts in 14th. And then I have Blue Stars in 13th.
Blue Stars.
I know. I know. I can explain my reasoning for it whenever. So I just think they're blend. And actually, I got this. I was watching the aged out DCI finals predictions, and one of them had Blue Stars in this spot. And I think it's where I would put them just because of I think their battery blend is not as good as some of the other groups that are right ahead of them.
I could get with that.
The front ensemble though, cooking. Shout out Jordan Garza. He's the RF ensemble director. The Blue Stars front is absolutely cooking. But I
Shout
think
out,
they're
shout out Dill, Blue Star Xylophone.
yes, Blue Stars, a lot of RF members at Blue Stars. But I think their front's cooking, but I think the battery leaves some to be desired. I'm watching them. I watched them both at San Antonio, right next to each other, and I thought their front was actually incredible. So Kudos to the front, and that's probably why they're higher. It's
It's
just
the
this is
judge
this
being
is
in front of.
this is a personal, very biased, opinionated list, and this is where I think they should go. So take it to heart. Don't take it to heart. I don't care. It's my list. So sorry. All right. I'll go. I'll start at 12. So I have the Blue Knights in 12th. I'll go 12 to 9. So I had Blue Knights. I had Troopers, which I know they're getting a lot of credit. So I'm gonna get I know I'm gonna get hate for that one. Um, I had Colts, and then oh wait, shoot, sorry. These all got to go up one. I forgot Spirit. Spirit was 11th. Spirit, and then Troopers, Colts. Okay. Reasoning, I think Spirit's drumline is incredible. I do think it is a now Boston feeder. At some point, it will be. I hope it's soon. Um, I really like their aggression. I think they hit the drum. They hit the drum unlike any other group, and it's truly more of that East Coast old flavor. Even if it's not the crazy density of notes yet, I think
Mhm.
they're going for it pretty hard. So, Troopers is playing clean, easy book though. I do like what they're doing. I feel like it's a nice bow to cap the Western shows off, and then Colts. I think they played the fastest and the cleanest rolls of the season. Like Boston has really blended rolls. I think Colts plays really clean rolls that also are well blended, but they're really fast, like off the chains. So, and we got some buddies at Colts too that obviously there's a little bias there, but again, it's my list. I think they're playing great. So, all right, Preston, who you got?
All right, in 12th place, I also have Blue Knights. 11th place, Colts. And then 10th, I have Troopers. And ninth place, Mandarins. Uh,
Dang.
my my reasoning for that, again, I did take into account some of the scores and that, but also some of my personal preference. I do think the Colts are playing uh, just at a higher, not I say higher level. Like you were saying, they are playing nasty clean, and I think that the only reason they were below Blue Knights in the scores is they might have just had something dirt out in prelims.
Yeah.
Doesn't normally. Like they had a point drop. So I imagine getting the credit fully, they're gonna take that 11th spot. Um, Troopers, kind of like you said, I have them lower because their book is
There's no
simple.
other. There's not much. I
It's
mean,
not a super
they
complex
have
book.
a couple flashy moments, but it's. I don't feel like it's as much as the last couple of years.
Yeah. And then uh Mandarins, I have ninth. I guess just because I do really like their drum line. I think they sound really good. Obviously Mapes is doing great there. Like a Mapes drum line's gonna sound good. I have heard very little of their front ensemble. And
Valid. I can't say I've heard
that's
much
the thing
for ensembles.
is I used to see a lot of Mandarin's front stuff, and then I've seen significantly less of it now. And so that just makes me feel like there's something left to be desired from what the Mandarins used to be front ensemble wise that's holding them back, and so that's why I have them at kind of a lower percussion score.
Okay, I can get behind that. So my eighth place group was Mandarins. I'll just go ahead and put it here. Um, this one Larson talked me into this last like couple days because we were talking about like what we thought and everything, and I was like, man, the Mandarins like it hasn't really been hitting me, but then we just sat there and watched it for a while, and I was like, okay, I might be sleeping on them a little bit in the drum score category. I think they have a really good blended sound fully. Um, I feel like their density is a full percussion ensemble is a little bit harder than Colts. I think Colts is one of the hardest snare books around and hardest one of the harder battery books. But I feel like Mandarin's just the way their tuning scheme is and the way their blend is on that tuning scheme. I think that's gonna ultimately project them higher than Colts. Um, in terms of the way that they're being set up for success in that regards. Not to say the Colts are not, but I feel like in the dome setting, I feel like the Mandarin's battery sound works more in their favor versus the Colts battery sound in terms of the way the drums sound.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, who do you got in? Let's go 8-3.
8-3.
Or no, let's go 8-5. Sorry.
All right. In eighth place, I have Blue Stars. And then seventh, Cavaliers. Sixth, Phantom. And then at five, I have Carolina Crown. And so for me, uh, really the only thing that's different on this part of it that's not what the scores straight up were was I have Blue Stars higher. Again, I love
You love
their
everything
front
about
ensemble. And I really their front ensemble is so good.
it. So good.
And I
It's literally with
agree
RF members.
with
That's
what
why.
you're saying. I can fully get behind what kind of your blend talking about the battery, but
All right, we got 10 minutes.
oh, we got this.
We got it.
But uh, I think just because a judge is always in the front now, that carries them a little better.
I can get behind that. I feel like they're my wild card. Like I could see them in eighth, but I could also see them in like 12th, 13th.
Yeah.
They're the wild card for me. They could literally be anywhere. And if someone told me they got seventh or eighth, I'd be like, okay, I can get behind it. So I think it's just a run to run basis. Um, what about Phantom versus Crown?
Uh, Bana versus Crown, it really what came down to it is just the way I think Phantom has the harder book of the two.
Agreed.
Like there's no contest there. But I think the way that Crown's book complements their show works for them better in the score. And again, that's also what it's about is sometimes you don't get the credit for playing the hardest thing. Rhythm X, the past like forever, they've played the hardest things ever. They've played the cleanest, but they haven't played what's complemented the score in ways that the others have, whether we agree with it or not. Similar here, Crown's playing what they're playing at an elite level. It's not as hard as what Phantom's doing, but it's crediting their show in a better way.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. My seventh was Cavaliers. Dude, all I'm saying, they posted a video earlier of their like snare feature. And
Mhm.
dude, that center smacked the gawk.
He was
Oh, and
he,
I DM'd him after that. I just know him through the internet and stuff, and I'm like, bro, you smacked it. He's like, oh, just wait till finals. I'm like, oh, I'm waiting. I want to see it. Okay. Um, I actually have the exact same, or actually, no, I don't. I have the Blue Devils in fifth. Um,
fifth.
yes, and no. Did I spell it right? DEV. Okay, I did. So the reason for this, Phantom has the Phantom. I think actually has a harder book than Blue Devils,
I agree.
but I think Blue Devils has the riskier moment. And if you look at the recap tonight, they got a 9.955 in content, but they got a 97 in achievement. And that's what tells me that is their hard moments really hit.
Hmm.
I think that the score that the Blue Devils got tonight is exactly representative of what I think of them. I feel like they have a very high ceiling in terms of if they hit the hard moments, they're going to get the credit. But I don't think their full package has enough of that density.
Yeah.
So that's what I think separates Cavies, Phantom, and Blue Devils in kind of that order. Um, I'll go ahead and roll off my top four while we're at it. So in fourth, I have Carolina Crown, which is where they were fifth tonight, but they got fourth in content. I absolutely love what Crown's doing. Their approach to the drum, the way it fits, the aggression they're playing it with, I think is off the chains. Third place, I have Blue Coats. And then the top two shouldn't be any surprise. I think those top three are in a tier of their own.
Yep.
Blue Coats has risky moments. SCV has risky moments. Their books set themselves up to either win it all or get third.
Yep.
Boston, it does not have the hardest book, but their battery blend is it's one of the cleanest things I've seen. And I've the consistency in which they've done it, and I don't know what it feels like they did a bunch of little things different at Boston this year. Like they didn't do lot drill. Like they added a couple things in the warm up thing. Like I don't know, whatever formula they concocted from a performance strategy standpoint, it worked. I mean, shoot, they got a 9.8 or 19.8 tonight, and they got a 9.9 on both captions. That's
Yep.
about as good as you're gonna get. Like if and it wasn't even close. Like Vanguard got a 19.45 and versus a 19.8.
Yeah.
That's I mean, I get chills sitting here thinking about it. Like that's not even close. And then I mean, Blue Coats or 19.3. So a whole half a point separating Blue Coats and Boston in one caption. Like that difference from Blue Coats being that far back in percussion is the reason that Boston is winning in the overall core. Like that's crazy. So I do think but SCV is the hardest book in my opinion of the summer. Some of their moments are just insane. Like the snare moment with the all the just dissonance. And the one thing is I don't think that moment's getting enough credit for. I think it's because the combination of all the different sounds that are happening in brass world plus electronic world is just muddying up the snares.
Yeah.
Like I'm hearing the shots, but everything in between just sounds kind of muddy, you know? And that's also coming off the stream too. But even in person at San Antonio, I thought the same thing. So, all right, who do you got in your top four?
All right. Fourth place, I have the Blue Devils because I was hating on it all season, but they got that thing clean, and I respect it. It happened, and I give the credit where it's
Normal
due.
blue coats get clean
Uh,
last week of the season.
and
Oh,
then
always happens.
top three, same as you. Blue Coats, SCV, and Boston. Get my boy Jose a Sanford.
Get this man a Sanford, bro. Get somebody.
I think my dad had said it best is Boston's always been this close to doing it, but it's just been all it's always been They've bitten off more than they can chew, and when the moment came, they couldn't finish it. But this year, they didn't they didn't overreach for it. They just did exactly what needed to be done to win the Sanford. They made the adjustments, and they're gonna get what I believe is probably one of the most deserved Sanfords in a long time.
I mean, they're gonna have a tear where they. I mean, there was like one or two shows where SCV beat them in drums earlier in the year, but since Texas, they have been on a tear.
The closest it's been was literally before today was just both of them a different contest scored. They got scored the same,
But
and
Even at Allentown, there was a gap.
then they come together. Boston's clearly got some
Now
leeway on.
the content score was close. Like SCV got a 9.8 in content, Boston got a 9.9. So, but the achievement is where the difference was. And so I don't know. We may see a closer gap. We may see one night flip, but I think this one night, with there being that big of a gap, it's the same thing that happened to SCV last year. They had the on semis, they had a point 0.6 gap over Boston or point 0.5 gap. And that's what put them over, bent over backwards for the average, even though Boston won prelims last year. So we'll see. We'll see. I think they're going to take it though.
I
So
hope so. I want it for them.
it's been a great year for percussion. There's some really clean drum lines, a lot of great things happening. So, all right. Well, we got less than a minute, so we got to wrap it up. But this has been so fun. I I'm the season flew by. The season really did, and so many groups are doing great. I I hope you take away some of the things we talked about in terms of just showing the love for the activity, showing love for everyone. Everyone's doing great things. So please go support your lower cores. Uh, the
The marching arts in its entirety.
yeah, words cannot even describe how we feel. So be sure to like the content and do all the normal things, battery archive lessons at always. So we'll see you next time with probably a DCI finals recap.